Hi everyone, welcome to Project 11. In this project we're going to be continuing our work with letter forms and using them as just shapes or symbols in order to create other forms, which would include concentric radial forms and wave forms and kind of interesting things. The way I have this set up though is that we need to create our form on a path, which we can do in Photoshop CS series or Photoshop 7 or in GIMP. If you have Photoshop elements, I don't think that you have a path, so instead what you'll do is use the warp tool with the text tool and find some interesting configurations with that. So we'll demonstrate that too. Okay, so here we go. File New. Let's set this up to inches again, and I'm going to take this, start out at 8 by 8 inches, and say OK to that. Alrighty, and it's kind of important to create my letter forms on a new layer, so I just clicked on the Layers palette and click the Create a New Layer button here. Putting a letter form on a path is kind of interesting. Paths are a strange animal in Photoshop. Adobe Illustrator is another famous Adobe program, and it entirely uses vectors and paths to do its artwork, and it's very different than vectors. But we have a fair number of vector tools in here. Right under the Type tool is a shape tool, and these create paths or vectors. So I'm going to use the ellipse tool and hold down Shift again and Alt. Nope, just Shift. Let's try that again. And I always do this. So let me go to Layers and toss that in the trash. Okay, let's try this again. The Alt key doesn't constrain, start out the ellipse in the center like it does with the selection mark key, so that's why I said oops there. Also at the top in the options here, the first button creates a fill automatically. The second creates the path, so that's what I have to click on. So here we go. Let's try this again. I'm going to hold Shift though to constrain it to a clean circle. Now I'm going to take the regular Type tool and click on the path here. And 600 points is a bit large, so I'm going to go to 24 points. And that's a bit small. Let's try 48. Alrighty, let's see what happens there. Putting on the caps lock. I'm going to again repeat like on the syllabus, M and W. And notice that it just follows the path right around. That's kind of cool. If you're ever doing curved text in graphic design, you want to use paths, not warping it. I'm going to use a better font, so I have to highlight this and go to Arial, black, which is kind of bold and gives us a nice graphic look here. I can expand. Well, let's see, I guess I'll leave that alone right now. Okay. Alrighty. So for this first project, it's really rather simple. What I'm just going to do is create a series of radial, smaller and smaller and smaller M's and W's to get to the center here. I can toss the path at this point, don't need it. So click the path channel and toss the work path and the M and W path. Because it's still a vector, it won't let me, so I have to rasterize it. So Layer, rasterize, Type, and now there's no path, and we have the type on its own separate layer. And just like we've been doing up till now, we can free transform this, we can move this, we can spin it around, we can copy and paste. I'm going to put the little gap right at the bottom here, just like a little keyhole. hit enter. I'm going to copy and paste this using the magic wand tool. So I'm going to click W here and select similar. Control C to copy this, Control V to paste it, and Control T to free transform it, and then hold Shift and Alt and it'll shift down uniformly just like so. Okay, pretty cool. Control T, another one. Oops, escape that. Control V, which is paste a new one, and Control T, and Shift and Alt. Adjust that in a little bit. Just eyeball it. You can move it around with small movements using the arrow keys too. Control V. Okay. Control T, Shift and Alt, and you get the idea. On the background layer, I'm going to go a few more of these, but I don't want to take up too much time. I need maybe 4 or 5 more of those. On the background layer, I could lay in a gradient, which is kind of fun. So click on the background layer and grab your gradient tool, which is in this case hiding under the paint bucket. I'm going to click radial gradient, and I put white in the foreground, black in the background, and click and drag from the center out to the corner, just like that. And we end up with a pretty cool gradient here. Take a look at the syllabus. So that's how I did what you see on the syllabus. Let's select all. I'll do another one here. Layer, flatten image first. I'm going to play etch a sketch and erase what's here. Select all and then hit delete. Oops. And because black was in the background, it went to black. So if I put white in the background, it'll turn white. Alrighty, so once again I'm going to click on the elliptical path tool and pull out a path. Oops, don't need that one. Grab the type tool, click on the path and do the same thing again. We're off the frame. See if the letters have been formed anyway. Yes, okay. Control T. I'll leave it like that for now. Let's see. So trash the path. This gets a little bit involved. Remember that there's paths in here and that we can trash the work path, because it's just going to be in the way, and that we want to rasterize the vector font. So again, it's layer, rasterize, type. And now it's just like any other picture that we might have drawn. It's editable, it's selectable, it's filterable, and so on. If you miss, try again with a Control Z here, and then select similar. Alrighty, I'm going to free transform this smaller. Okay, notice it's still selected. Control C for copy, Control V for paste. And I can just pile them up one after the other here. Let's see how many we have in the layers. Just one so far. Sorry about that. Edit, paste. There's another one. Edit, paste. There's another one. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's Control T. guess what's in memory? It's from the last one I did. So hit delete, escape first, and go to the layers and trash it. Somehow my copy didn't work, so I have to do that again. Zoom in, sometimes it's easier to copy, and select similar right there. Copy, paste, zoom out, Control 0, move it. There we go. Okay. Control V and move it. Okay, see what I'm doing? I'm creating like a tube shape here. If I continue this for a few of these elements here, I get kind of a very interesting shape that I can use then to flatten this down and resize and build into new constructions. Oops, the whole thing moved here. But you get the idea. So I don't want the video to go too long. Again, look at the syllabus. Think about what layer you're using. There's a warp tool here with a text tool as well. And that's up at the top. And you can play warp games with this. So have fun and see you in the next one. Take care.